am going to take the class on basics of environmental science. In this class, we will understand what is environment and what is environmental science, and also what is ecology, and what are all the principles and involved in environmental science. As well as we will also study what are all the concepts that are coming in ecology and environment. Today, we will also learn some of the concepts of food chain, food web, and also what is biodiversity, and also we will learn what are the conservation strategies for biodiversity. So, in first instance, we will understand what is environment. The environment means it is the sum total of all conditions and influences that affect the development and life of all organisms on earth. And what is environmental science? Environmental science, it deals with the study of the all total living beings and also their relationship with the environment. So this is the branch of science, so where we can understand what is the impact of all the developmental activity on environment, and also so what are all the concepts, so they are coming in the environmental science that they directly relationship with the biotic and abiotic relationships. And what is ecology? Ecology is the study of interrelationship between organisms and their environment. So where ecology means it is taken with two words. One is oikos, it is a Greek word. This is the meaning is the household, and also the logos means it is the study. So in total it is the study of household. So that means the organisms with their surrounding, so we can study in this ecology. The environment of an organism consists of all those factors and phenomena outside the organism that influence it. So where in this environment, so there are factors, physical factors, and also there are chemical factors and also biotic factors. Physical factor means all the physical entities, they are present in the environment, they are influencing biotic concepts in the environment. And abiotic include all chemical factors like physical factors as well as chemical factors, and biotic factors all includes the total environment. And then so their interaction will be there entirely depending on the organisms present in the area and also the surrounding physico-chemical factors. So next we will understand the scope of environmental science. The study of environmental science deals with the study of flow of energy and also the materials in the environment. The solar radiation, when it reaches the Earth's surface, plants absorb this energy and convert into food. Along with this food, the energy flows from one organism to the another organism. Along with this, the energy also flows. And also, it deals with the study of nature and its functions. So how plants they exist, and then how they are interacting with the abiotic factors, and in an ecosystem, what are all the functions involved in the ecosystem, those are all things we will study in the environmental science. And also it deals with the exchange of various materials between biotic and abiotic components of environment. So where the flow of these nutrients from plants to the organisms, and then from the organism again it will go back to the soil, and then from the soil plants absorb these nutrients. So like that all these nutrients they move in a cyclic form. So for examples we have biogeochemical cycles. So we have carbon, sulfur, etc. So all those materials they flow in an ecosystem. And also to clarify modern environmental concepts like how to conserve biodiversity, and also to know the more sustainable way of living, and also the study of environmental science also it is used to conserve our natural resources efficiently, and also to know the behavior of organisms under natural conditions, and also to know the interrelationship between organism in populations and community, and also to aware and educate people regarding environmental issues as well as the problems, and also these problems they study in national as well as international level, and also we will study some of the issues responsible for environmental problems they are existing globally, and also studying of environmental science also deals with the issues related to development and their impact on environment. And also the study of environmental science it is a fundamental concepts like environmental pollution and their solutions we also study in environmental science. Next we will understand how the life evolved in environment. Around 450 billion years ago the life evolved in the environment, where preliminarily there were atoms, very small molecules. These atoms formed together to form a molecule, and these molecules combine to form a organelles. So these cell organelles combine to form a cell. These different cells performing same functions, so they group together to form a tissue. So this tissue will perform some of the unique functions. So these different tissues put together to form a organs, and various organs to form a body or an individual. So this individual organ have different organ systems. For example, skeletal system, nervous system. So like that, so there are different organ systems they are put together to form a body. So likewise, any individual, so they are formed with from tiny molecules to a living organism, and then these living organisms they are put together to form a population. Then what is population? Population is the number of same individuals present in a given area for a particular time, and also these different populations they are put together to form a community. So likewise there are different communities to form a variety of ecosystems. So there are variety of ecosystems they are put together to form a biome. And all these biome, they form together, they are present everywhere on the earth. So like that, the formation of these community from a tiny molecules, so these are all various levels of organisms on the star. We will understand how the behavior of different gases in the atmosphere, how atmosphere changed from the time when the earth evolved. Yes, we know that our earth, it is formed way back 4.5 billion years ago. That is our age of the earth. So from that time, the environment, it is always changing. Now whatever we are seeing, that environment, it is continuously, it is changed. And from the time when the earth formed, so there were only some of the few gases. Only we can see that the hydrogen and water vapor and carbon monoxide, so those gases were there around the time 4.2 billion years ago. And then gradually there is a accumulation of moisture, and also due to various chemical reactions, reduction reactions took place, and there are formation of methane, and also through which carbon dioxide enter into the atmosphere. From that time, the behavior of temperature also gets changed, and also the temperature of the earth's surface, it is always changing. It was there very minus degrees to the present condition we have around 30 degree centigrade. So likewise, so the formation of this carbon dioxide due to industrial revolution, the day by day carbon dioxide is increasing in the atmosphere. So this is all because of the greenhouse effect and also various phenomena that is occurring in day-to-day life. So whatever we are seeing today, we have nitrogen, carbon dioxide and water vapor, and also few other gases. So that is the current condition of the Earth's atmosphere. So these are all the atmosphere, it is continuously, it is changing. And most of these gases, they present in the Earth's surface of the first layer, it is called as troposphere. Next, we will understand the origin of life on the Earth. This is one of the greatest challenges to evolutionary science, where cells were probably in existence by 3.5 billion years ago, which was not very long after oceans themselves they formed. Evolutionary scientist J. William Scope has found evidence that the controversial statements also involved here. So where the cells they have obtained from the rocks, they give evidence that these were formed way back 3.5 billion years ago. And there are also evidences of apex chert of Australia So that is a valuable example for this existence of this life. Scoff claims to have recognized at least 11 different kinds of cells which resemble modern cyanobacteria. They found in the soil. They are blue-green algae. And also the oldest sedimentary rocks in the world, they are formed from 3.8 billion years ago. They are evidenced that these cells exist in these rocks. The example is the formation of Isua of Greenland. So these rocks contain no fossils but do contain carbon compounds. So this carbon, it is always, you can think that it is a derivative of organisms. So wherever carbon is present, you can think that, so there is a organism. So likewise, through isotopic techniques, so they have found out that this presence of carbon in these rocks, it shows that there was a origin of this life in that time. Until 3.9 billion years ago, the solar system was filled with errant asteroids and comets that crashed into the planets. On Earth, evidence of this bombardment has been largely erased by erosion. However, on the Moon, the craters formed, the hollow depressions, so they have also preserved, so they also indicate this life system. And collisions with asteroids may have vaporized any oceans and any life they might have contained. So likewise, they give so many evidences for the existence of life on the earth. All these evidences says that the life evolved only on the earth. So because we have not seen any life outside the Earth's atmosphere. So that hypothesis, it says that rare Earth hypothesis. That means the life only exists on the Earth. So nowhere we have come across any organisms. We have been touched the Moon, and we are also sampled from the Mars, and also no evidences till we have not found. So this formation of life on Earth, so way back around 4 billion years ago. So some hypothesis says that they say that the life evolved somewhere else, and it was then transported to the earth. So that concept, we call it as panspermia. That means seeds everywhere. So somewhere else the life was formed. From there this life has come to the earth. Someone they say like that. But the life evolved only on earth. In environment, there are different components, they exist. So these are the physical environment and biological environment, as well as the cultural environment. So these three are the characteristics of environment. So what are these physical environment? The physical environment includes the atmosphere. So where lot of gases are there, they are put together to form atmosphere. And the other physical environment includes the hydrosphere. The hydrosphere is nothing but the water content wherever it is present. Maybe it is in the form of either lakes, rivers, maybe glaciers and oceans. All those, they are put together to form hydrosphere. And the other one is the lithosphere. Lithosphere is the earth crust, so where it gives place to so many organisms, plants and animals, and also the presence of the various mineral components. So all these together we call it as the lithosphere. And the biological environment include the flora. All plants, they are put together to form a flora community. And the fauna include all the animals. They are put together, call it as fauna. And the microbial environment where all microorganisms constitute to form a biological environment. So these microbes, plants and as well as the fauna constitute together to form a biological environment. The other component, characteristic of environment is the cultural environment. So where the society means all the different populations, they are put together, they are living a harmony with the nature. And also the economy involved in the society, and also the political nature in the society. So they are all put together to form a cultural environment. And then next, we will also see that what are all the components of environment. The components of environment include the biotic components as well as the abiotic components. So as we seen that in the physical characteristics of environment, so where all those physical environment. So along with that, there are some factors involved in environment that leads to abiotic components. So these are all the climatic factors as well as edaphic factors. So the climatic factors include the water content and the temperature, and also the presence of various gases in the environment. And the edaphic factors include the soil, etc., that give rise to the edaphic factors. And then coming to the biotic components of the environment include, as we have seen, the flora, fauna and microorganisms. These are all the biotic components. Like the mainly we segregate them into producers, consumers and decomposers. So what are producers? Producers are, these are the organisms. They produce their own food. So mainly the plants. So plants, through photosynthesis, they prepare their own food, and also it is a food for the other components. And the consumer includes mainly the fauna. These they take the food from the producers, and then after death and decaying of these both producers and consumers, they are going to the soil and then they decomposed by some of the microorganisms. They are called the decomposers. So these three components they to form biotic components of environment. So like that, so in an environment, these biotic and abiotic components, they are having some interrelationship in the environment.